Hello, this is Sarah V, and today I'm going to be making a blouse because I have a thorough lack of sleeveless blouses for under cardigans, because if I wear a more fitted cardigan, you can see all the sleeve bunched up in the arms. So I kind of like a sleeveless cardigan, not a sleeveless cardigan, but a sleeveless blouse works really nice with a fitted cardigan and any cardigan. So the pattern I have is McCall's 6256 from 1945, I believe. And I think I am going to do the one where it gathers up at the shoulder. And I am making it in black, just like the illustration, because I think it's kind of cute and kind of autumnal and gothic almost. Not super gothic, but you know. And this is the fabric I have. It is a black linen blend that I bought at Joann back when I was in college. It was a remnant. It wasn't a remnant, but it was the end of the bolts on a clearanced, and it was clearanced. And then I had a coupon for a certain percentage off of clearance. So I think it was a good price, a very, very good price, although I was hoping there was more on it, because I wanted to make like a Victorian style, Edwardian style blouse almost, with all the lace and stuff and the cute little yoke in the front. But that didn't happen, because I think there's more almost like maybe 1 1/4 yards of this, which I already dry fitted with the pattern because I had to scale the pattern up to my size. So yeah, it's just enough. But then I'll have a cute little sleeveless blouse to wear under my cardigans for the fall. To start things off, I am just placing everything where I put it in my kind of test run of things to make sure everything actually fit on the fabric, because I had so little of the fabric. And it did fit, so I resumed those positions and just pinned away. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but this fabric is a linen rayon blend of some sort, and my machine was content with it, which was nice. I don't have a lot of red fabric, and I don't wear a lot of red, but I recently got a pair of red shoes, and I think I would like to make more things that go with it, including more red things. So perhaps I'll be making more red things either this year, next year. We'll see. I'm also kind of just like incredibly disappointed because I started sewing this and I had a spool of Gutermann thread and I couldn't find it. And I don't sew a whole lot in black either, so it's not like I used it up, but I couldn't find it. And it just kind of bothers me because I know I couldn't have used it all up. I hate that I still don't know where everything's at even after moving. So I used some other spool of thread that wasn't as nice as Gutermann thread. It doesn't even have a brand on it. I did in fact end up ordering interfacing from Fabric Wholesale Direct, and the listing said it was woven, and it was kind of hard to see the video of them holding it. So I ordered it and I received it, and it does not in fact seem woven. It kind of seems knit still. But I guess that's what I'm using now. So hopefully, even though it's not super rigid, it'll be fine. And it's kind of like floppy and knit-like. So I hope it's enough to keep my buttonholes happy, because I have 10 yards of it now. It'll be fine. Hopefully, at the very least, it stays adhered to the fabric better. And if it works really good, I'll let you know. I also need to put a new piece of chalk in my chalk pen, because the piece I am using is just a fragment of a piece that broke off of a bigger piece because Scooter knocked it off of my table, and now I'm trying not to waste the chunks. But anyway, now I am just doing all of the darts. They're not even darts, they're tucks. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Scooter is a very, very ornery fellow sometimes. Right after I filmed my outro for this, he was antsy about getting fed, and he decided, I'm going to chew your serger threads again. And he hasn't done this the whole time we've lived where we're living now. But he was just mad, I guess. Now I am just sewing those little chunks in the neckline. And I left one stitch at the bottom so it turns out a little easier, so there's somewhere for the fabric to go, instead of just making it a point at the bottom. And I'm slashing it because the pattern told me to slash it. Over at my ironing board, I am pressing the facings to the inside, and my serger tension was a little off, so it's a little bubbly. And I didn't feel like hemming those edges, I just serged them, and I interfaced it because I thought that might be helpful to help retain that shape. And it did wrinkle a little on the other side, but I did end up flipping it over and fixing that, so it's nice and not rumply there. Now I am putting in my gathering threads along the front, and now I am putting in the shoulder seams. Now I am stitching on the little neckband, and it's just cut on the bias, and I'm sewing it in at 1/4 of an inch like the pattern told me to. And at this point I realized, wow, I didn't gather the neck in, so I quickly gathered that in so I could continue stitching it. And I sewed right over the spot where there's the little cutout. And now I'm just stitching over it so that everything is nice and in place. Back to gathering, I am just gathering that area on the shoulders that gets ruched, and it told me to gather it down to 1 3/4 inches, which is what I'm doing here. And then I had some, I think, twill tape that I just cut, I think probably to 2 inches, so I had a little more give, and then I just stitched that over it just so it wouldn't, if any of those gathering stitches break, it will be stable. And now I'm sewing up the side seams. Now I am sewing up the bottom hem, starting with the back placket pieces so I can turn them out, and it will be nice and clean there at the bottom. And for the arms, for the armhole sleeve hems, I serged the edges and then I turned it in where I was supposed to and just hand stitched it in place. And it worked well enough. But I'm just turning this as I go, and it's not perfect, but it's good enough. I wear my shirts tucked in, so I don't really care if it's perfect. It saves a little bit of time. I wish I had had some really cool buttons to put along the back, but I couldn't find any that looked good with it. So I just went with some plain black buttons. And also my machine was unhappy putting buttonholes with this fabric. I don't know if it was the needles I was using, because I did the corduroy jumper and apparently I used an organ needle and it was fine, but I used an organ needle this time and it broke. So I don't know. She's a fussy gal. Overall, I think this turned out quite cute. I will say, I think because of my scoliosis, this is kind of bubbling here, depending on how I am situated at the moment. This side is fine, which is why I think maybe it might be for my scoliosis, but it is what it is. I think I added too much extra length whenever I graded the pattern up, but I could always just gather this up a smidge more if I really wanted to, and it'd be fine. But it's pretty fine. But yeah, it does have a bit of a gothic look. It kind of reminds me of vampires, just, well, because of the shape, but also just like with the fabric color. I also think it would be really cute with a brooch right here. And I did try it on before I did any of the buttons and buttonholes and put a cardigan over it, and the cardigan was fine with it. I think I started this shirt around 11 and I'm finishing it right now. It is like 5 right now. I haven't changed my clock yet. So there's that. But I did take a couple breaks in there. Not quick breaks either. So this shirt was super fast to make. I am happy to have a little black shirt that I can wear in the fall with some of my little plaid skirts. But yeah, I'm really excited about that because I've been needing something like this in my wardrobe and now I have it. Although I do need to remake some of the little sleeveless blouses that I made before because I made those when I was 18 and I am not the same size I was when I was 18. So it just kind of has like terrible gaping right here in the front, which is not super cute. So yeah, it would be nice to make a couple white ones too. That is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more fall sewing, please subscribe. If you'd like to see what I'm up to day today, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Sarah V Sews Vintage. I often forget to post on there, but it's there. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.